Hello, it's West Crow, and I'm going to be reviewing the Horrors coloring book for adults. I got this from my friend. I showed this in a haul. I think it was in my first haul that I showed it in. My friend got it for me for Christmas, and I ended up getting her a Doctor Who coloring book for Christmas. So this is a really nice gift that she got me. So I thought I'd do a review because I haven't seen any reviews of this on YouTube, at least not that I found. And it's a really nice coloring book. It also comes with little tidbits of information and all these creatures that are in here. So I'll read the back here for you. The Horrors is an enchanting, frightening collection of cryptids, monsters, and ghosts from around the world, ready for you to color. This adult coloring book celebrates creatures, the ones that go bump in the night, as well as those that roam in the daylight. The Horrors is a perfect coloring book for anyone who appreciates ghost stories and more. And then here's the back. There's more of a spiel there, but let me see through the whole thing. So I'll read the introduction here. Since the beginning of time, tales of cryptids, ghosts, and monsters have been used to explain our fears. Generally, the fears come first, best described as the darkness around the primordial fire, one full of hungry eyes. Then there are the sounds and the sensory experiences, from the eaves whistling in the wind at midnight to the creak of staircases when nobody is there, to the cold drafts we feel in the most unexpected moments. Thankfully, there is an explanation. The wind frightens us because it sometimes sounds like a human voice, calling out in hunger and desperation. The darkness becomes unsettling, as it may contain monsters which will devour us or change us. The deep sea is an endless mystery, extending far below our paddling feet. Are the Horrors real? The author has encountered a few creatures in the tattoo coloring book. There's a good chance you may have as well. Maybe your brother did, maybe a friend did. Urban legends and myths are things that we rarely come into personal contact with, but stories we hear over and over again. These stories are often intended to correct our bad, sometimes dangerous behaviors and impulses. Many of the creatures appear as punishment for misdeeds. Some appear when one violates certain taboos. Others will reveal themselves when we enter their sacred grounds. Maybe we tell these stories to control ourselves, maybe we tell them because we like to feel afraid. So there's a picture of the author. Basically, she's been a tattoo artist for a while, and she's always had an interest in this type of stuff, so that's where the coloring book came from. So I haven't colored all the ones in here. I'll show some of the ones I've colored and what the results are with the different mediums I use. I use pencil crayons, I use watercolor pencils, I use my just my regular drawing pencils, and I use just some cheap felts. And I use this magazine because it did bleed through on some pages with the felts and with the watercolors. It is a heavier paper. It's not cheap paper. It's nice, but still, when you do watercolor and things like that, I did use some washable markers, which I don't have on me because I ended up throwing them out. But they ended up killing some of the pages really, really bad. Anyways, as you can see, there's a little snippet of information about what creature the picture is of. I did this Baba Yaga one in pencil crayon, just in pencil crayon, so yeah. We have Banshee, Black Eye Kids, this sort of a newer one, I guess. Black Chuck. I think I want to do this one in pencil crayons to get the fur. I did this one in felt, it's the Boohag. I'll show you the bleed through from it. So the bleed through isn't bad. The red bled through a bit on the eyes and a little bit of the orange. There are smaller areas where I wasn't able to really, they're just smaller areas to color in, so I think that's why they blend through a bit. So next page. Chupacabra, Conry, See, there's so many things in here that I haven't heard of before, and I've been into a lot of. There's a lot of stuff in here I have heard before because I was loved this stuff when I was younger. Dear woman. See, my friend knows me. This is an awesome coloring book. It is. Are there serpents? Frog prints. Fairy tales. Golem. That one I might do in pencil, I think. Gorgon. Graves. A harpy. Haiku. Not really sure. Ifrit. And this one I did in pencils and pencil crayon. Basically they are made of smoke or fire, so I kind of did a little bit of a charcoaly thing going on with it and did fire on top. So, yeah. Jackalope. That's what I'll be saving to the end because I really like the jackalope, so I want to make sure I do it well. G green teeth. And the Jersey Devil too, that's another one I want to do somewhere decently. So yeah, the Jersey Devil. I hate spiders, so I might not even do this one. The Kaiju. Kappa. Kelpie. Cameraman? That one looks kind of interesting. Oh, Kieran. Like, I used to like the Windstone version of these, the Impenna Windstone version. It's kind of almost more like had more of a horse face to it. And it was sort of like a Asian unicorn is what they made it out to be. This is a little different. Krasu. Kushitaka. I think, I don't know, but that one looks interesting. I'll have to read about that. What is it? It's a Twin Lake legend, half man, half sea otter. Is usually male and appears in or near a lake or a pond. When left to its own devices, it feeds on fish and mollusks, just like an otter. When disturbed by humans in its territory, it may become violent. It is known to stack and carry off young women to eat children and to simply drown men who pursue it. In some areas, it is regarded as a shapeshifter who can appear in human form and mingle with people in order to choose its victims. Just remember that its teeth will always give it away. They do not resemble human teeth, they are pointed and sharp like otter teeth. See, I would have thought that was maybe a lion, but no, it's an otter. So, yeah. La Llorona. And this one I did in watercolor pencils with with like a felt marker background. And there's the bleed through of it there, not too bad. And then this one I did, is the one I did with the washable markers, and I really like the way that they started to blend together, but they started to make the page really pill, and so I guess in order to do that technique you have to have like even thicker paper than this. I kind of like the way it was starting to turn out though. But yeah, there's a bleed through of that one. And it bled even though with the magazine, I guess I had shut the book earlier than I should have, and it bled through onto this page a little bit too. Makara. I don't know if I got anything else in here. I think I got one or two other ones in here that I colored. Megalodon. Nagas. Ninjin, or whatever, however you pronounce it. Nogitsu. This one I think I might want to do pencil crayon as well. Maybe watercolor pencils, but for the first sake. This one, again, has some nice fall colors there for leaves. Topo Bawa. Racking. Makes me think kind of Bram Stoker's Dracula. This one I think I almost kind of want to do with felt. I don't know, we'll see. Sasquatch. Bigfoot for anyone who doesn't know what that is. Harry and the Hendersons. Skinwalker. Thunderbird. I think I mentioned this in the haul video. This is one I was interested in as a kid. Trolls. Unicorn. It doesn't really seem to fit in this book, but I guess so. Unicorn. I guess you can make it a scary looking unicorn. A Wendigo. Now wasn't this in a movie about cannibalism, but it was like in Northern California? Maybe the mountains of California or something like that? I don't know. This looks like it's like South America. Mexico or something. Oh no, North American mythology. Wendigo is regarded as a forest spirit that can possess humans if they indulge in cannibalism. There we go. That was actually a good movie. I like that movie. Oh, I forget the name of it. Ravenous? Something like that. But I don't know, there's a chase scene in it where they got like this hillbilly music going on, and I found it hilarious. I thought it was funny. So I think my husband has that video up north. Werewolf. This is the cover of the book. Oh, here we go. I did this one. It's a witch, and they have they talk about like Italy and Spain, where witches were considered to be so vile that they should be burned. Some pastimes of these medieval witches included having sex with the devil, greasing themselves with infants' fats, cursing livestock, and of course flying with or without a broomstick. This classic witch comes from Catholic myth, and many real people were killed during the Inquisition by religious authorities after being forced to confess to being witches. The witch was a frightening creature to people at the time, as they were thought to be able to kill with a word, curse women into miscarriage, and kill livestock from distance. Although nowadays witches are usually content with making herbal teas and playing around with crystals. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Anyways, I did this one just a belt marker. And there's a bleed through from the belts. Does bleed through a bit. Anyways, there's the next one. Mermaid. So I guess unicorns and mermaids are in here. I haven't seen a fairy unless they did fake folk, I guess, sort of. But meh. Anyways, there's the mermaid. Yeah, Tivo. And that is it. So anyways, yeah, that's sort of my review of this. I like using markers in it because sometimes markers are just funner to use when you're not looking to do detailed stuff. But there is a little bit of bleed through, so I would suggest putting down another piece of paper. Like I used a small magazine to draw on, or to color over. Also, the watercolor, I would do the same thing, and it would bleed through, but actually the watercolor didn't, like the page didn't warp that bad from the watercolor. And that's my watercolor one, and the page didn't really warp that bad. It's pretty decent for watercolor, I guess. The bleed through wasn't that bad. The felt kind of bled through, but the watercolor didn't bleed through. But this one, I like the technique of using those markers because they blended pretty decently, I thought. But they started to really pill that, so I would not use that on this paper again because it really started to pill, and it took a while to dry. Those pills of paper and ink, they took a long time to dry. Anyway, yeah. That's my review on this. I don't know how coloring book reviews usually go. but that's my review. I thought it was a good coloring book. I really like it. If she puts out any more coloring books, I would probably go for them. But I don't know what else she would put out. Like this one is just, this one's golden for me.